The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. No Julius Randle tonight in Cleveland, so Obi Toppin makes his first start of the year. Jalen Brunson looks to be 100% without question. Goes for a career high 48 points. All told, the Knicks put 7 players in double figures, and without Randle, put up 130 points against the best defensive team in the league and win 130-116. Great to have you with us, everyone. Bill Pito here in our Delta MSG studios. So the win for the Knicks means their magic number to clinch at least 6th in the East is 1. One more Knicks win, one more Heat loss, and at worst for the Knicks, they will finish 6th. Nets won tonight, so the Knicks are still 2.5 games in front of the 6th-placed Nets. But all good for the Knicks, even without Julius Randle. As we take a look at the highlights, they got help from everybody. It's cliche to say it was a total team effort, but they had 7 players in double figures. Obi with his first start. Remember, last year started 10 games, and in those 10 starts averaged over 20 a game. Tonight went for 12. Brunson was fantastic in the first quarter. Remember, Julius Randle leads the league in first quarter scoring. Brunson had 21 tonight in the first quarter. Donovan Mitchell was electric as well. 26 points in the first half. The two teams combined for 89 first half points. Most points combined scored in a first quarter all year long in the league. Emmanuel quickly had an excellent game. It was the Knicks up 79-72 after 2 quarters of play. Brunson had a 33-point half, the best half of his entire career. Had 12 points the other night in his return from the right hand injury, and didn't play at all in the fourth quarter, but tonight he was dominant. Mitchell had an excellent game. He finished with 42. The Knicks were able to pour it on, especially in the fourth quarter. They got great defense. Here they are in transition. Obi adding that transition element to their game tonight. Deuce McBride got minutes into the rotation because of the injury to Randle. And he played 10 minutes. That's his only 2 of the game. R.J. Barrett had 14, puts the Knicks up 119-104 with about 7 minutes to go. And then Brunson capping things off. Career high 48, 18 of 32 from the floor, 7 of 12 from downtown. And the Knicks on the verge of clinching a playoff spot. Again, their magic number now 1 as they beat the Cavs 130-116. Look at the numbers for the Knicks. And again, Cleveland, the best defensive team in the league coming in. And the Knicks, without Randle, score 130 points. Alan Hahn on the game call tonight with Mike Breen. Alan, what do you have?
This was some kind of performance, not just by Jalen Brunson, but remember before the game what all the players, Bill, were talking about was how it was going to take a collective effort to make up for the 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists that you lose with Julius Randle out of the lineup. And it certainly was a collective, as you talked about. I mean, all the way down the box score, there was contributions from everybody. And the 7 players in double figures is part of that scoring, making it up Well, Jalen Brunson is a guy who played 6 games in the past month, in the past 4 weeks. And you were wondering, is it going to take him some time to get back into rhythm? Bill, it took him 1 game. And he stayed at the scorer's table on Wednesday because he didn't have to come into the game there. But there was no keeping him out of this game. What a performance that he put up, because early in this game, watching Donovan Mitchell go off the way he did in that first quarter, you needed someone to match him shot for shot and stay in the game. And that's actually exactly what Jalen Brunson did. That's a superstar performance from the Knicks point guard.
Knicks won the fourth quarter again like they did against Miami. They outscored the Cavs 25-14 in the fourth. The Knicks were up by 3 after 3, and again it was the fourth quarter. You mentioned Brunson early in the game, and I mentioned over the highlight. 21 points in the first quarter. So important because we all know how key Randle has been in the first quarter of all of these games this season.
Right. Usually Randle's the one that's the catalyst early on, and then Jalen Brunson comes in and he gets his points more in the third quarter and later on. But in this game, Jalen Brunson understood, especially, like I mentioned again, I can't overstate this. Donovan Mitchell started this game off red hot. He couldn't miss. He was making incredible shots and also, of course, driving to the basket. But Jalen Brunson, what he was able to do to match that was spectacular. And I said during the broadcast, you know, if you're a Knicks fan, boy, is that just a sight for sore eyes to see him back to that player that he has been throughout this season, despite the last couple of weeks of dealing with injuries. So when you see him in his bag like he was in his bag tonight, with the three-point shot going down, sure, but he still had the drives. And oh, by the way, when the defense keyed on him, he had the passes, the assists, and his teammates picked him up. This was a collective effort, but it was led by the Knicks point guard, by Jalen Brunson. What a night for him, and boy, what does it look like now going forward if this is a first-round matchup? Two stars at the guard position that we know can light it up.
Obi Toppin, first start of the season, and like many of the Knicks, made a very valuable contribution. He had 12 points. His first start of the year, played about 18 minutes. What's your take on what you saw out of him tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what, in the first half, you didn't see a lot. I mean, yes, Obi had 6 points. He played only 9 minutes. He was the only player on the team in a minus. He was -4, and you saw obviously some frustration out of him. But in the second half, he comes in the game, and he became a difference maker. Because with Obi Toppin, just like Tom Thibodeau tells all his players, what do you do best? Bring that to our game. You don't have to do anything outside of what you do. He started running the floor. He started getting those spectacular finishes on the break, and that really started to open the game up for the Knicks. So he had 6 more points in the second half, but he did it in a quicker time, and he did it with a more impact. And that's what you want to see out of him. So for Obi Toppin, it was a good finish to the game for him, and really, like I said, for the bench, because he moves off the bench, and yet the bench still had a spectacular performance, a high-scoring performance, over 30 points off your bench, despite the fact that you were shorthanded. Sure says a lot about the depth on this team.
How about the rebounding, Allen? Mitchell Robinson went for 14 rebounds. You look up and down the box score. Josh Hart had an excellent game on the boards. It seemed like everybody was chipping in without Randle, who averages 10 rebounds a game. Knicks dominated the rebounding 48-33 tonight.
Yes, plus 15, which is a big number. It's something that actually J.B. Bickerstaff talked about with his own team, where he felt like they need to do a better job with defensive rebounding, especially against a team like the Knicks, which is, they are the best. I mean, Tom Thibodeau said it, and I agree with him, an elite offensive rebounding team in the NBA, and they weren't able to stop them. The Knicks offense, even though both teams shot such a high percentage, imagine shooting 52% and still getting 16 offensive rebounds. And that's where Mitchell Robinson really led the way with 9 offensive rebounds. All those second possessions are so critical in a high-scoring game like this. So the Knicks rebounding, that has always been part of their identity this season that they have established. They're a great rebounding team. They're great on the offensive boards. And as we start looking forward now to potential first-round matchups, that's an area of concern for the Cavs and an area of strength for the Knicks.
Allen, bad news for you. I just got word that the plane left without you. You're going to have to walk home.
It's a long walk from Cleveland, but I don't mind. I can walk on air right now. What a performance that was that we got to see.
You just better be back here for Sunday, okay, buddy?
You got it. I'll be there.
All right, Knicks Wizards on Sunday. Pregame at 5:30, game at 6.